Hello. Today we're going to be working on lesson 6.2, estimating quotients. There are different ways to estimate quotients. One way is to use compatible numbers. Compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to compute mentally. So a lot of them are going to be our basic facts that we already know. Example number 1. Circuses have been around for more than 200 years. They sometimes travel by train. Suppose a circus travels 642 miles in 8 hours. Estimate the quotient of 642 and 8 to find out about how many miles per hour the train travels. As you notice, I started to circle underline the 200 years, but I just saw the number. I didn't really put together that it was the years, and that's not what I'm going for. So I uncrossed that. Make sure that when you see numbers, they might trick you. So if it's not part of the useful information, you don't need to underline it. Okay, so we need to estimate 642 divided by 8. So 642 is pretty close to 640. And I know that 640 and 8 are compatible numbers because I know in my fact family that 8 times 8 equals 64, and those are all part of the same fact family. So it's going to be able to divide easily. 640 divided by 8, I underline my basic facts. 64 divided by 8 is 8, but it's in the tens, so my answer needs to be in the tens as well. So 640 divided by 8 is going to be 80, and the train is traveling about 80 miles per hour. Just make sure that you're looking for these fact families when we do these problems. Okay, let's take a look at example 2. Isabella has 6 tea sets in her collection. The collection is worth $1,168. Each tea set is worth the same amount of money. About how much is each tea set worth? So we're going to need an estimate because I see that word about. We don't need an exact answer. So one way that we can do it is by looking at those compatible numbers. 1,168 is close to 1,200. And 1,206 are compatible numbers. I know they're part of that fact family here. So I know that they are going to be easy to divide mentally. So I'm going to round it up to 1,200, even though it's closer to 1,100 or 1,200. Sorry, I misspoke. 1,200 divided by 6 is 200. We have the 2 here, our basic fact, and we put it in the hundreds place. Another way to do it is to use the inverse operation of division, which is multiplication, and following that basic pattern that we did in yesterday's lesson. So 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 20 is 120. So 6 times 200 equals 1,200. So each tea set is worth about $200. And to check that, I can use multiplication. The inverse of division is multiplication. So to check it, I can go ahead and put 200 times 6 equals 1,200 or 1,200. And that makes sense. It's a reasonable answer. So we're good.